G'day guys, my name's Dave and welcome to another Guitar Zero to Hero song tutorial. In this lesson, I'm going to teach you how to play Time of Your Life, Good Riddance by Green Day, which is an awesome acoustic tune. Now for the basics of this song, you'll need your guitar in standard tuning and you won't need a capo. If you want to master your chords back to front, then be sure to head over to guitarzerotohero.com to pick up my free guitar ebook, or if you want to improve in your guitar in general, then check out GZ2H Premium, which is my complete step-by-step guitar course. Alright, let's jump into the lesson. Okay, so let's start with the intro of this song. Now, we're going to play a G chord, and we're going to hit the 6th string twice, so that's the root note, with 2 downstrokes, and then an upstroke on the 3rd string and upstroke on the 4th string. So down, down, up, up, and then you'll mute the strings by just dropping your hand down. So we don't want those notes to ring out. Like that. That's played through twice, so... Now ideally this whole song is flat picked, so you will use a pick to play this song. If you don't like using a pick, then yes, technically you can finger pick the patterns in the song, but if you want to stay true to the recording, then you'll need to use a guitar pick. Next we get to our verse, which is just one line of tab. So we're going to stay on our G chord. Now our picking pattern is going to go something like this. We're going to hit our bass note, and then we're going to hit our bass note again, and then with an upstroke on the 2nd string. So down, down, up, and then we'll end with 3 plucks here. So the open 3rd string, the 4th string, and then the open 3rd string again. And that picking motion for the last 3 plucks should be up, down, up. And all together, the picking pattern. Now I've shown the suggested picking direction which makes the most sense. So again, down, down, up, up, down, up. Now that's played twice on the G. Then we move to a C add 9 chord shape. So it's the same as a G chord, except we move our index and middle finger down 1 string. Our root note is now the 3rd fret of the 5th string. We're going to play one picking pattern here, but this time our root note is the 5th string. So down, down, up, down, up. Then you'll go to a D chord and we'll play one picking pattern here. There are a couple of things to note though. So first off, the root note is a 4th string now. Now our picking motion is the same, so down, down, up, down, but with the final up stroke, you're going to lift your index finger and hit that open 3rd string. And that allows you time to shift back to the G. So the final D, down, down, up, down, up. And that's the verse in total, which sounds like this. And a little bit faster. If you're not comfortable using a pick, then you can finger pick these parts as well. They won't be as true to the original recording, but it will still sound nice. So if we're finger picking this, your thumb will take care of the 6th, 5th and 4th strings, and your index, middle and ring finger will take care of the 3rd, 2nd and 1st strings respectively. Ideally, they shouldn't pluck any other strings other than the ones they've been assigned to. So the strings that we're going to pluck are identical. Nothing's going to change, except we're just going to use our fingers here. So finger picked. And the same finger picking rules would apply to the other sections that I'm about to teach you as well, if you wanted to use your fingers instead of a flat pick. So next we move on to the pre-chorus, which is really simple. So we're going to start with an E minor chord. So just index and middle finger on the 2nd frets of the 5th and 4th string. We're going to play one picking pattern here. So our root note here is the open 6th string. So down, down, up, down, up. Then we'll go to the D for one picking pattern. And again, lift that index finger on that final pluck. And then we'll go to our C add 9 for one picking pattern. And then we'll move to our G for the final picking pattern. And that's it for the pre-chorus picked, which sounds like this. line of tab is played through twice, and that's it for the pre-chorus picked. Next we get to the picked chorus, which is 2 lines of tab. So we're going to start with our E minor again, play this for 1 picking pattern, then our G for 1 picking pattern. The next bar is the same, so E minor and G. Then the second line of tabs back to E minor for 1 picking pattern, and then up to D for 1 picking pattern. And that's it for the chorus picked, which sounds like this. So I want to give one tip when it comes to flat picking. Now, when beginners play, they often find it's difficult to target the exact strings, and they find that their hand is just sort of floating in mid-air, and it makes hitting the exact string a little bit difficult. So one thing you can do is anchor, and when you anchor your hand down, that way it's not floating everywhere and you can be a little bit more precise with your picking. So what I personally like to do with this particular song is anchor underneath the first string. So I use my ring and pinky finger here to touch that first string, and that way my movements can be a bit more precise and my hands are not just floating around everywhere. For this particular song, we're not actually hitting that first string ever, so that's why it's possible to anchor underneath that first string. So that's just one little tip. You could also anchor your index and middle finger on the scratch plate just below the sound hole as well, and that's another thing that can often help beginners when they start flat picking. Alright, so after the picked section, we then get into the strum section of the song. Now our strumming pattern is going to go something like this. Down, 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 up, down, up, up, down, down, up, down, up. And that's going to be consistent throughout the whole song. And in succession, down, 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 up, down, up, down, down, up, down, up, down, 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 up, down, up, down, down, up, down, up. Now for the verse, we have just those 3 chords. G, C add 9, and D. So the G will be played for 1 full strumming pattern, and the C add 9 to the D will share 1 strumming pattern. The point at which we change chords is on the highlighted up strum. So the second up strum here, so from the C add 9 to the D. Down, 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 up, down, down, up, down, up. Now that will be a common theme throughout the rest of this song, where there's 2 chords within 1 bar. They will always change in the same spot on that highlighted up strum. So the verse. Next is the strum pre-chorus, which is 1 line of chords. So we have our E minor, D, and they're contained within 1 strumming pattern, and then C add 9 to G, which is contained within 1 strumming pattern. And those chords are played through twice. So the pre-chorus. And then finally we get to the strummed chorus, which is just 1 line of chords. So we have E minor to G, contained within 1 strumming pattern, E minor to G again, and then finally E minor to D. So the strummed chorus. Now the only other thing I want to teach you is the very final picking pattern that ends the song. Now it's pretty much identical to the verse except for the final D. Now for the D chord it's almost the same, except for our last 3 plucks we're going to hit the 3rd string and then hit the 3rd string again. So up, down, and then finally with our up stroke you'll hit the 4th and 5th strings. So down, down, up, down, up, and then end the song with the G chord. So that's the only other thing I want to teach you if you want to get super accurate to the original recording. But otherwise you could just play the normal verse for the outro if you wanted to as well. And those are all the parts to this song. Now in terms of structure, we start with the intro, then we play the picked verse, the picked pre-chorus and the picked chorus. And then we get into the strummed verse, the strummed pre-chorus, and the strummed chorus. We repeat those 3 strum sections again, the verse, pre-chorus, and chorus. And then there's another strummed verse, and then we go back into the picked chorus, and finally the outro, which is just more or less the same as the picked verse. So now I'll be doing a full playthrough of the song, and I'll have a vocal track on top for some context. A big thanks to my friend Eric for lending his awesome vocals to this playthrough. Feel free to play this back as many times as you'd like to practice, play along to, and see how you go. Thanks so much for watching. If you've enjoyed this lesson, then I know you'll absolutely love these other lessons too. So hit the link here, or if you want to grab a copy of my free guitar ebook, then head over to guitar0tohero.com or click the link here. Thanks so much, and I'll see you guys next time on Guitar Zero to Hero. Cheers.